Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Here, we embrace true femininity. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update.
I am a crossdresser. Ever since I was a child, I have always enjoyed dressing up in women's clothes and feeling beautiful and feminine. However, I kept this part of myself hidden, afraid of society's judgment and rejection. But as I grew older and more confident in my identity, I started embracing my love for crossdressing and even found a supportive community of like-minded individuals. Among my friends, there was one person who I trusted and confided in about my secret, Rebecca. She had always been accepting and understanding, and I never thought she would use my vulnerability against me. But that's exactly what happened one day. It was a typical Friday evening, and I was getting ready to go out with Rebecca and a few friends for dinner. I spent hours picking out the perfect outfit, doing my makeup, and styling my hair. As always, I felt comfortable and confident in my feminine self. However, as soon as Rebecca arrived at my door, she had a look on her face that made me uneasy. "Wow, you look different," she said with a smirk. "What do you mean?" I asked, suddenly feeling self-conscious. "Well, usually, you dress kinda casually, but today, you look like you're ready for a fashion show," she said, still smirking. I shrugged off her comment, thinking she was just teasing me. But as the night went on, I noticed that she kept making subtle jabs at my appearance. At first, I tried to ignore it, but it became increasingly evident that she was trying to embarrass me. I couldn't understand why she was behaving this way, and I was starting to become upset. As the night came to an end, and we said our goodbyes, Rebecca whispered something in my ear that chilled me to my core. "I know your secret. And I'll make sure everyone knows it too," she sneered, walking away with a sly smile on her face. I spent the whole weekend fearing the worst and wondering what she meant by that mysterious statement. On Monday morning, I received a call from Rebecca, asking me to meet her at a cafe near my office. I knew I had to face her and find out what she was planning. As I walked into the cafe, I saw Rebecca sitting alone at a table, a devious grin on her face. I took a seat across from her, and before I could say anything, she slid a folder towards me. "What's this?" I asked, picking up the folder. "Open it and see for yourself," she said. I opened the folder, and my heart sank as I saw the contents. It was a series of photos of me, dressed in women's lingerie, taken without my knowledge or consent. My hands trembled as I flipped through the photos, and Rebecca explained her plan. "Those photos were taken at your apartment without you knowing. And with them, I can destroy your reputation and relationships," she said, an evil glint in her eyes. "But, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I have a proposition for you. You will become a lingerie model for Victoria's Secret." My jaw dropped as I looked at her in shock. "What? Why would I do that?" Rebecca leaned in closer and whispered, "You'll do it to pay for betraying me, and because you have no other choice." I was at a loss for words. I couldn't believe that my friend would use my secret against me like this. I tried to reason with her and begged her not to go through with her plan, but she refused to listen. She gave me an ultimatum: either become a lingerie model or face the consequences of having my secret exposed. Fearing the possible repercussions and not wanting to lose everything I had worked so hard for, I reluctantly agreed to her terms. And just like that, I signed away my dignity and freedom. The next few weeks were a blur as I was thrown into the chaotic world of modeling. I was fitted for skimpy lingerie, taught how to pose seductively, and given a crash course on makeup and hairstyling. It was all so overwhelming, but I had no choice but to push through and do as I was told. The day of the Victoria's Secret fashion show approached, and I was a bundle of nerves. I was on the verge of a breakdown, knowing that I would be parading in front of thousands of people in my underwear. But Rebecca's presence kept me in check, reminding me that I had brought this upon myself. As the show began, I walked out onto the runway with the other models, feeling exposed and vulnerable. The crowd's cheers and applause only added to my discomfort, and I could feel my face turning red with embarrassment. But what came next was even more humiliating. As I posed and sashayed down the runway, Rebecca appeared on stage, holding up a photo of me in women's lingerie for everyone to see. A hush fell over the audience, and I wanted to curl up and disappear. I could hear whispers and gasps from the audience as they recognized me, and I wanted to run away and hide. But I couldn't. I had to finish the show as instructed by Rebecca. When it was finally over, I ran backstage, tears streaming down my face. I was mortified and devastated at what had just happened to me. I couldn't believe that my friend had stooped so low and humiliated me in front of so many people, all in the name of revenge. As I got changed and prepared to leave, I overheard a conversation between Rebecca and one of the organizers. They were discussing the huge backlash that Victoria's Secret was receiving for using a crossdresser as a model without their knowledge. Rebecca's plan had backfired, and I was caught in the middle of it all. The next day, I woke up to a barrage of hate messages and comments on social media. My secret was no longer a secret, and I was being ridiculed and bullied by strangers for being a crossdresser. My phone rang constantly with calls from family and friends, all wanting an explanation for what had happened. I was overwhelmed and heartbroken. I had lost my job, my friends, and my dignity all in one sweeping motion. I felt like I had hit rock bottom and had nowhere to go. But as I was about to give up and succumb to my misery, I received a call from a representative at a well-known LGBTQ+ advocacy group. They had found out what had happened and wanted to offer their support and help me seek justice for what Rebecca had done. With the help of the advocacy group, I took legal action against Rebecca and Victoria's Secret for their unethical and disrespectful treatment towards me. It was a long and challenging process, but eventually, justice was served. Rebecca was forced to make a public apology, and Victoria's Secret changed their policies to be more inclusive and accepting of all gender identities. In the end, I lost a friend and suffered a traumatic experience. But I also found a new community of people who accepted me for who I am, and I learned to fight for my rights and the rights of others like me. I had the strength and resilience to overcome the humiliation and reclaim my identity and pride as a crossdresser. And most importantly, I learned never to trust someone who values revenge over loyalty and friendship.